Hi, I'm Bob James. I'm the curator of the Worcestershire Masonic Library and Museum. I'm a member of Severn Lodge in Stourport, number 5583, and retired early, so I've got lots of time in my life.
How long have you been curator here, Bob?
3 years, I think, or 4. Could be. You lose time in this place, you know, it's timeless.
And tell me what that involves, that job.
Basically, running a team, a Thursday team and a Tuesday team, and anybody else that wants to come and help, to curate all the memorabilia that we collect, either to do with Worcestershire in particular, or sometimes with Freemasonry in general.
So presumably, Bob, to be a curator, you've got to be interested in the history of Masonry yourself.
I certainly am very interested in the history of Freemasonry. In fact, I'm very interested in history. I was for a while a head of history at a school, and I'd grown to enjoy history since I left school, strangely enough. Hated it at school, but it's so fascinating to look into the lives of people so long ago and to figure out why they did things, when they did things, and how they did things. It just is fascinating. It's all about people. And of course, Freemasons are people, and they have their own fascinations.
Now, we're in the lodge room here at Rainbow Hill, but of course, right next door to us is the library and museum. Tell me about the history of this wonderful place.
Well, a Kidderminster Mason, George Taylor by name, decided that actually he felt that the Freemasons of his day were not very well informed about Freemasonry. And so just over 130 years ago, he put on a big exhibition in the Guildhall of all the memorabilia that he had. He put another one a little later on, and then 130 years ago, he actually decided that he would sell to the province his collection, and that started the museum off. There were 12 lodges in the province at the time, and they all chipped in for the collection, and here we are 130 years later, and guess what? We're now up to 4 rooms.
And for those who haven't been here, because there's lots of Masons within the province of Worcestershire, and indeed non-Masons as well, who haven't been here, tell me about some of the highlights they should look out for.
Well, we have some really nice jewels. We have a Hogarth jewel, which was designed by Hogarth himself in 1735. That is probably the jewel of our library and museum. But we've got everything from very, very old aprons, Masonic aprons, which have been printed, or in the early days they painted their own. And we've even got one that's been embroidered. We've got some delightful jewels that were made by French prisoners of war in their hulk ships, and they used to make those from the rubbish they picked up off the floor and then sell them at the markets to buy food with. So we've got all that, plus an awful lot of stuff about Worcestershire and all its famous and not so famous Masons. Really, you've got to see it to understand.
Now, this is a special year for Freemasonry, isn't it? Celebrating our 300 years. This museum is a big part of that. Tell me about Freemasonry Unwrapped.
Freemasonry Unwrapped, well, this is an exhibition we're putting on to celebrate 300 years of the United Grand Lodge of England, and also it just happens to coincide with our 130th anniversary, so we thought it would be a good idea to put on another George Taylor-style exhibition, and that's what we're doing. We've taken over half the bottom floor of the Guildhall, and in there we shall put everything that we think anybody, Mason or non-Mason, needs to know about Freemasonry.
And when's all this happening, Bob?
Right, we're opening the exhibition on July the 24th, and it is going to run for 2 weeks until August the 5th. So that's 2 weeks in which everybody's got time to come. The only day it's not open will be Sundays.